Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Welcome you all to this second session on AWS training. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Superb. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's stop the chat so that you can focus on the training. This session is recorded. Yesterday's session we are unable to record because of some technical issues in the Zoom meeting tool. This session is getting recorded. In the last session, we have understood what is AWS. If anybody asks you what is AWS, your answer should be AWS is a cloud platform which is collection of services. AWS is a cloud platform which is collection of services, isn't it, offered over the internet? What are the three concepts which defines the cloud? What are the three concepts which defines the cloud? Availability, scalability. I hope you remember. The three concepts which defines the cloud is availability, scalability, pay as you go basis. Because of these three concepts, cloud is becoming the most preferred technology and many clients are moving their infrastructure to cloud. Okay, perfect. What's our plan for today's session? Participants, if you have missed yesterday's session, do not worry. Please focus on today's session. What's our plan for today's session? This is our agenda. To practice AWS, you need to have an AWS account. In today's session, I'll show you how to create a new AWS account. When can you start practicals? Only when you have an AWS account. If you're not having AWS account, do not worry. I'll clearly guide you the step-by-step approach we need to follow to create a new AWS account. Once we are done with how to create a new AWS account, we are jumping into the first service of AWS that's called as EC2. We'll start the first service of AWS, that is EC2. What is EC2? We'll understand in detail, and we'll also learn how to create a Windows machine on AWS. We'll be learning how to create a new Windows machine on AWS. We'll be understanding the concept called as key pair. We'll understand what is key pair, and we'll be experiencing the practicals of key pair, and we'll also learn how can we connect to the remote machine. All this can be possible using the service called as EC2. So let's start practicals. We'll be starting practicals, and if you want to practice, you know we need to have an AWS account. If you're not having AWS account, please follow this recording and go ahead and create a new AWS account. I'm showing you how to create a new AWS account. If you want to practice AWS, what is the URL? Yesterday I have shown you what is the URL. To connect to AWS cloud, what is the URL? The URL is aws.amazon.com is the URL, isn't it? So I open this URL in the browser. I've shown you yesterday. Don't worry. This is the URL aws.amazon.com. I already have an AWS account. I can happily sign into the console. I can happily sign into the console and enter my email address. I'll enter the password. I log into AWS. Please experience it. I'm entering my email address. I'm entering the password. I already have an AWS account. I'm happily logging into my AWS account. Whenever you log into AWS account, please, a very important observation. Very important observation. Whenever you log into AWS account, the first page is called as AWS Management Console. This is called as a landing page. Whenever you log into AWS account, the first page what you get is AWS Management Console. As you can see here, this is called as a landing page. And what is AWS? It's a cloud platform which is collection of what? Services. You are right. AWS is a cloud platform, and AWS is collection of what? AWS is collection of what? You're right. AWS is collection of services, and I have shown you where is the list of all the services here. These are all the list of services what AWS is. I can select any service, whatever I want. I can start practicing. If you want to also connect to AWS account, if you want to create a new AWS, if you want to also practice all these services, you should have an AWS account. That's our plan for our today's session. We'll start first learning how to create a new AWS account. I'm sure you already, few of you already having AWS accounts. If you're not having AWS account, do not worry. It is very simple. If you're not having AWS account, do not worry. It's very simple. Now I'll show you how to create a new AWS account. I'll show you now to create a new AWS account. I have created a document also. I also have created a document which helps you with the screenshots using which you can also create your AWS account. So I want to create an AWS account. Let's log into URL again. Sign into the console. I already have an account, so I enter my email address, I enter the password and log in. For you, if you're not having AWS account, can you see we have an option, create a new AWS account? At the bottom, can you see we have a button which helps you to create a new AWS account? Click on this and you can help you, which will help you. It will guide you a step-by-step process which helps you to create a new account, new AWS account. Before showing you how to create a new AWS account, before showing you how to create a new AWS account, if you want to have an AWS account, what you need is you need to have an email address first. To create a new AWS account, you should have email address. We all have email address, no problem. You should have email address, no problem. We all have email address. Next. You should have mobile number. We all have mobile numbers, not a problem. What all details required to create a new AWS account? You should have an email address. We all have an active email address. You should have a mobile number. Yes, we all have a mobile number. If you are having two mobile numbers, if you are using two SIM cards, please use the mobile number which is linked to your bank account. Please follow this. If you are having two mobile numbers, if you're having two SIM cards, please use the mobile number which is linked to your bank account. That's very important. You should have a debit card. Credit card is different, but debit card is easy. All of us who are having a savings account, you have a debit card. These are the three details which is required to create a new AWS account. You should have an email address. You may have a question, Sunil, yes, I have an email address. Sunil, we have a mobile number. Yes, we have a debit card. Yes, when you have all these details, no doubt, you can go ahead and create a new AWS account. You need to have a new AWS. If you have these details, you can go ahead and create a new AWS account. I'll be showing you now. I'll be showing you now how to create a new AWS account. There are few points which you need to keep in mind. Debit card can be Visa, debit card can be Master, not a problem, but RuPay card is not accepted. Visa card, MasterCard are accepted, but RuPay card, if you're using debit card and if it is a RuPay card, it will not be accepted by AWS. Okay, that's keep in mind. And you need to enable the debit card for enable debit card for international transactions. By default, international transactions will be disabled if you have a debit card of ICICI Bank, if you have a debit card of SBI Bank, if you have a debit card of HDFC Bank, whichever bank, you speak to your bank customer care, and then you should request your debit card to enable international transaction, because AWS needs debit cards which are enabled for international transactions. Otherwise, you cannot go ahead and create a new AWS account. So these are the three details you need to keep in mind. You should have an email address. You should have a mobile number which is linked to your bank account. You should have a debit card, and that debit card should be enabled for international transactions. These are the three things. If you have all these account details with you, you can go ahead and create a new AWS account. I'll be showing you how to create a new AWS account. Log into the console, log into the AWS website. That's nothing but aws.amazon.com. Go ahead and create a new AWS account. Go ahead and create it. By default, you'll have this page. By default, you get this page. Click on sign in. If you have an AWS account, I have an AWS account, I can happily sign in by entering the email address. But if you're not having AWS account, go ahead and create a new AWS account. Please look at this. For the first page, it is asking for email address. If you want to log into AWS account, you need to log in with email address and password. Enter the email address, provide the email address which you are planning to use it for your AWS account, provide the AWS password, create the AWS password, provide a AWS account name. This should be unique. This is step 1. It's a how many step process? Creating a new AWS account is a 5-step process. Step 1, you need to furnish your email address. So email address you need to furnish in which step? Step 1. I have a screenshot which will help you to create a new AWS account. Anyways, this recording will also help you. There's also a screenshot with help, a document which helps you to create a new AWS account. Step 1, you need to use this site aws.amazon.com and then go ahead and create a new AWS account. Please observe here. I hope it is very clear. Provide the email address, provide the login password which you want to have, provide your AWS account. This is step 1. So we have provided email address in step 1, as simple as that. Next, observe step 2, enter contact information. It will ask your mobile number. Scroll down. Again, here is very important point. AWS provides 2 types of accounts. Friends, you can see the screenshot. AWS provides 2 types of accounts. One is professional account, the other one is personal account. We are creating AWS account for our personal use, for our practice purpose. So select the account type as personal. Provide your name, provide your mobile number, provide the right country. I have seen some participants using India mobile number, country, they're mentioning it as US. No, you need to provide the right mobile number, provide the right country. Provide the India, if you are from India, provide the mobile number and provide the right country as India. So you need to provide the mobile number in step 2. First step, we have entered our email address. Second step, we have provided our mobile number. Let's proceed. Step 3, enter your debit card details. As I said, 3 details are important: mobile number, email address, mobile number. Now step 3, it's asking for debit card or credit card. Preferably debit card is more than enough. Scroll down. Provide the card number, provide the expiration date, provide the card holder name. Let's look at this. I have provided my card number, expiration date, and I have provided my address. I provide the CVV number. Do you have PAN? We don't need to furnish the PAN. Click on no. ₹2, you get an OTP and ₹2 will be deducted from your bank account to check whether the debit card what you have entered is correct or not. You will get an OTP to verify whether the debit card details what you have entered is correct or not. So provide the right OTP so that your debit card will be validated. Step 5, you need to enter mobile number one more time. First time you already have entered the mobile number. Second time you need to enter one more time your mobile number. Select the right country, provide your mobile number. You'll get an SMS. Again, one more time you'll get an OTP. First OTP for verifying your debit card from the bank. Second OTP from the AWS to verify whether the mobile number which you have provided is correct or not. You get an SMS. Click on send SMS. Click on send SMS. You'll get an OTP to your mobile number to check whether the mobile number what you're using is correct or not. You need to verify, enter the OTP. Next, this is important. AWS provides 3 types of plans. AWS provides 3 types of plans: basic plan, developer plan, business plan. The basic plan is free. Basic plan is more than enough for us to learn AWS. Basic plan is free. So whatever you're creating AWS account is free. Please select the basic plan. Provide your role, select your role, whatever you can select the role, and you're interested in whichever the technology, you can select the technology. Click on submit. You get a thank you message saying that the account creation is completed. Okay. Scroll down. Once the account is created, you can log in with your email address and you can log in with your password. And then the first page what you get once you log in, I already have mentioned that the first page what you get is an AWS management console. As simple as that. Creating AWS account is very, very simple. Just you need to keep these three details in your mind. Please enable debit card for international transaction. If you are using two mobile numbers, please use the mobile number which is linked to your bank account, validate your debit card, validate your mobile number. That's it. There are three types of plans. Select the basic plan that's free. That's it. And then you can log in and you can experience the AWS management console. That's it. Clear? I hope I'm very clear showing you how to create a new AWS account. So once this session is completed, I recommend you to please go ahead. Anyways, this recording is shared in the WhatsApp group. This recording, yesterday's session was not recorded because of some technical issues, but this session is getting recorded. You know that. And this is shared. Please go through the recording and go ahead and create a new AWS account. So AWS account is ready. We are done with our agenda for today's session. So we are done with first point, creating a new AWS account. We all know how to create a new AWS account. I have an AWS account. So let me log into AWS account. You know the URL is aws.amazon.com. I log in with my email address. Login. The first page, when you log into AWS account, the first page is called as landing page. That is nothing but AWS Management Console. The first page is called as AWS Management Console. AWS is a cloud platform, which is collection of services, and the list of services, you can see it in this particular drop-down box. Out of list of services, today we will be experiencing the first service called as EC2. Today we'll be experiencing the first service called as EC2. Okay. Let's understand what is EC2. Stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. We are learning the first service that's called as EC2, stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. You may have a question, Sunil, what is this Elastic Compute Cloud? First point, do not worry about the technical jargons. Participants who are from non-technical industry, first don't get worried about the technical jargons. I make the concepts very, very simple. Okay. As per the documentation, Amazon EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, provides a scalable computing capacity. Try to understand scalable computing capacity on the AWS cloud. Using Amazon EC2 eliminates your need for investing in hardware upfront so that you can develop and deploy applications faster. This is the information about EC2 as per the documentation. So let's make the concept very simple. Let's make the concept very simple. Let's make the concept very simple. Look here. Let's make the concept simple. I want to learn Linux commands. Friends, I want to learn Linux commands. If you want to learn Linux commands, what operating system you need? You need Linux operating system. But my laptop is what operating system? My laptop is Windows operating system. My laptop is installed with Windows operating system. But what is my plan? My plan is to learn Linux commands. Definitely you cannot learn Linux on Windows operating system. So what you need Linux operating system. If you need Linux